I want to give him feedback, but he gets defensive, he gets angry.
What?
And he starts yelling. And then I get flustered. Okay, so there's that. Or I go to give feedback and he hears it as like bitchy or, like he's wrong. And so we get caught in not being able to give feedback in a healthy way.
So I have a relationship with a very dear friend of mine where this comes up a lot with us. Mm-hmm. But it's turned around where she crosses boundaries. She communicates with a tone that doesn't sound very pleasant. She'll pick up the phone any moment for me. And then when she's busy and can't retain her information, she blows up and becomes passive aggressive and tells me how she's doing all this for me and picked up the phone for me when I've clearly have said, you don't have to do that. That's not, like, it would be much easier if you just pick up when you're less busy. Like I share it back that way. But she hears it as a character attack, as she's doing something wrong, that she has to change something about herself, versus it being maybe a simple kind of like, as an example, I don't even watch the news, but if I were in a relationship and I knew my partner likes to watch the news, I would just say, can we do it after the morning so I can come into my body? So I would share it with, I'm much centered for our kids, or I'm more productive at work when I'm not filled up with negativity, and I would try to connect that with that woman, such as, we seem to be more connected because of this. Mm-hmm. So with women, when they share this information with men, and I just shared this about this with my friend, is what's happening is that most people are so afraid to be wrong, to not be liked, that they feel as though that it's not okay for people to be sad in a moment or express anger. Mm-hmm. And I even shared this with my friend. I said, this situation is pissing me off. Mm-hmm. I said that, it's pissing me off. Mm-hmm. But keep in mind, it's still part of me that I need to work on, so I'm less conditional about whatever it is. But she is participating in a way where it was listening to this. Mm-hmm. She flipped out, like, you're getting pissed off? I'm like, do you realize I still love you? What? Isn't it okay for me to express this? Mm-hmm. This is the emotion. Mm-hmm. This is just emotion. I don't want to create a tumor in my body. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's it's that. So with any feedback yet? Yeah, because I noticed I'm sharing.
No, it's good. What's coming up is being okay with expressing emotion, and simultaneously that person holds space for that without getting reactive, right?
Mm-hmm. That would be the idea.
That's the idea. Yeah.
That would be the idea. So there's different tactics to do that I could share here. Yeah. Do you want me to share kind of what I feel is the cause and then solution quickly?
Yeah.
So the cause comes from that same place, that people pleasing. Mm-hmm. Like, can you trust that they're going to be okay? Like, even if you continue to share with your partner or partners and they get angry, it's not going to change until you're okay with that. Mm-hmm. So in other words, when you become comfortable with that, either that person you're trying to deal with disappears, and you attract someone who can handle it. Mm-hmm. Right. So you just continue to be how you want to be. If you come from the heart, and that is, you're coming from this sweet place and you want expansion, then you have to trust. We have to trust that's okay. Mm-hmm. But it's that, again, back to trust. It's worry that they can't handle it. Right. Worry that when they blow up and threaten you with things that it's going to get worse. Now, I understand manipulation. I understand when people can throw stuff at you. But once again, it's this. Your whole sense of self, your whole sense of your world, your whole sense of the community is not contingent and codependent on one person. And keep in mind, we create these types of relationships because where did that begin? Typically with our parents.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is trauma. I mean, I hear that a lot with trauma, right? With parents who couldn't take responsibility for their own feelings or couldn't take responsibility for their reactions. So a lot of it's abuse. I mean, a lot of it is physical or verbal abuse.
So the solution is first, number one, and learn how to trust. And I know we're just sharing this right now. It might be kind of more lip service, which is something you and I can share and teach as coaches. But it's really grounding into that space, and also looking at the deeper possible shadow. If I express myself, what will happen? I won't be able to take care of myself. Maybe there's a secondary gain for not speaking up. Am I truly confident with myself? It's working on that part of yourself with potentially a coach. And then the third part, if there was an actual like linear way of doing this, the best way to do it is kind of how I almost shared it with you. And that is, for example, imagine you and I lived with each other, and let's say that you never washed the dishes. Like it was just always messy. And like no matter what I say, you just kind of leave cups up there and so forth. And you have a really difficult time hearing feedback about that. And of course, let's just say even you're more sensitive because your parents always criticized you. So I might approach this with you from this perspective of like, first starting off with like something I really like about you or the day, I really love this kitchen, I love spending time with you. And then it might lead to, do you know, am I different? Am I sweeter? Am I nicer when there's less work for me to do? Do you notice that at all? And you probably say, yeah, I'm like, I would like to experience that more because I want to be able to buy you flowers. I want to be able to show up more for you and spend more time with you in ways that make us feel good. And is there any way that you can help me? Because this is a way to help me help you. In a way, it's where the conversation is where that person gets that benefit. Kind of what I've shared already a few times is where there has to be some type of gain, something that they can relate to, something that they can connect to that feels like a personal gain. Feels like a personal gain maybe within themselves, within the relationship, and within their lives. It's unfortunate that like the reptilian brain goes to like, what do I get out of it?
Right.
But it's still, we're emotionally driven creatures, so it's okay to lead with that to lead to greater expansion.
That just like put another step in my head in like compassionate communication or nonviolent communication, where if two people are, let's say, in disagreement, they bring up the actual observation, this is what happened. Then they go into their feeling. But what I heard there was, here's the observation, but here's the personal gain, or here's the way that I'd like to feel, like as an inspiration. Then this is what's happening for me.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And not saying his name or any like literal things that have happened with you, is there a situation you had with your ex-partner or partners where they got defensive and no matter what you said, they shut down? Do you want to share that or anything that comes
I mean, that's happened, yeah. I was like, yes.
And was it with, like, did you share it this way in which you just mentioned him?
No.
Okay.
That was before I knew how to do that.
Well, let's say, okay, so let's do the scenario where you share it from a healthier way and I'm still shut down. So what I'm saying here is what I'm trying to set up the stage here is like, just tell me, okay, I just put this cup here on your nice table and it seems to stain. Tell me how to not do that from this open, loving space. I'm putting you on a spot.
You are putting me on a spot. I would probably say something like, oh, that tea is really good, that you like that tea. It tastes really good.
I'm in my heart now.
Right? It's you like my mug because there's a hummingbird on it. It's super cute. I notice when let's see if I get this right. I noticed when you put the mug on the table that it can lead to a stain on my table. Would you be willing to put it on a coaster?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to act something out, okay?
Okay.
God, you know, if it's not this, it's something else. So just imagine I get shut down.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't take that feedback.
Uh-huh.
Now, I just want to stop that right there.
Yeah.
If he does not understand you, or any man understand you, and he shuts down, that is why it's called a relationship. It's relating moment by moment to be able to expand together. He's giving you feedback where he's at. But I noticed that both men and women, but more women, they're not taking in that information.
Yeah, like I'd get defensive, like he's not hearing me.
Yeah, but he's not, that's it. So just imagine if you were just starting to get to know this man, probably after 1 or 2 dates, after you see that he drinks more than like 2-3 drinks at a restaurant, you'd go, I think he has a drinking problem. That's why they call it dating or courting, like you're getting to know the person. Throughout the relationship, you're still gathering information and expanding. You're still relating. It's not like you have a relating and then you're on the safe ship and then you're the same way forever and you're both happy.
Right.
Just because you at one point were physically attracted to each other and had the same goals. You both are constantly growing. And maybe that wasn't a concern maybe 2 years ago, but now it is now. It is okay. But again, it is to be able to take that information and recognize that he might not be a person that you can communicate with from an open place, that you might not be able to share parts of your life with. Now, I know this sounds very in the head, but it does work, for me at least, and it's this. I have not all people in my life I can open up to the way that I would like. And I'm okay with that. I take some people in small doses. I hang out with some people more in larger groups. Because one-on-one, I'm like, ooh, this is a little taxing. I'm just gonna be honest. So I have a process where I'm like, but when it comes to my lover, an intimate person, I want to be able to express my anger. That's where it's important. So if it happens to be someone that you're making love to or want to make love to, or someone's gonna be around you a lot, you have to recognize that when you communicate with him, it is not just that moment. It's not just this physical person, say you and him, communicating about an idea. You're literally creating the culture in your home. You're creating the energy. So if you're with a man who keeps shutting down and he's depressed, you're going to have a depressed house. Your kids are going to experience that. Are you okay with that?
Right.
So it doesn't mean you don't love him, but keep in mind, do you want him to be the temperature gauge of the relationship? Do you want his moods and his emotions to dictate how everyone's going to feel in the home? So when we relate to people, it's not just this moment with this person in this experience. You're creating literally like a culture, an experience in your home on an ongoing basis. And we all know this. When we're around someone who's really grumpy, we start to feel that. And it's hard to be around that person. So it doesn't mean you don't love them. It's more that this is not an energetic match to me. This is not opening up my heart to what I prefer. This is not an extension of where I'm going as a spiritual, enlightened being.
So can we go back to the mug?
Okay. It's about the mug again. What now? I thought we were over it.
So if he shuts down when I ask about the coaster, is there anything else I would do in that moment?
Well, you can say how you feel. Like, you can say like, I'm sorry that you are angry or upset. If there's anything I could do to help you feel better, I'm here. But that's it.
That's it.
It might be just either this, but it's not like defend yourself.
Right.
Because you want to put it on him to discover within himself what he needs to say. And if he's not respecting you, he's not respecting you.
Right. Okay.
He's not respecting your space, your table, and he doesn't have the ability to to have a mature relationship, which is about constantly relating with each other so you can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow.
Yeah. This is an awesome discussion. So many good nuggets in there. If women, anyone who's watching this really wants to comment or ask some questions that we can answer in the future, we would love that. You could put that below this video. And to connect with either one of us, you can look at the links below. I don't know.
This is her trying to do a call of action. So, of course, please ask more questions and we will talk about them. We're going to continue to do this. You can reach me also at my website, which is www.raydoktor.com. That's RAYDOKTOR. Also below are the links to reach us as well.
Yeah, you can reach me at NicoleAnandaCoaching.com. And yeah, I look forward to more conversations with you and helping the women and men to have deeper connections and more presence in their relationships.
Thank you.
Yeah.